I'm my higher self, I'm never by myself. I am my ancestors, don't get beside yourself now. Better pour libations now.
Peace and blessings, family. My name is Dara Moselle. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things energetic, healing, tantra, shamanism, and how to actually do things that give us the experience that we hear about on all these other channels, right? So we actually want to experience here. We're breaking things down and we are studying ourselves. Why? Because we want to feel our power, our super dope chi, and show up in the world how we want to, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say the best as possible. That might not be your goal, but you're gonna show up the way you want to. And that's the goal here. So like, subscribe, tell your friends, and hopefully you appreciate this video because today we're talking about how to beat your blocks of spiritual and metaphysical practice. And that's probably the biggest thing that people are having issue with. They're not getting the results because they're not doing nothing. And I hear a lot of different reasons of why people are like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And that's fine. But I would like to submit to you some perspectives and some things that you could possibly do to help get yourself out of that rut. Because you got to get going. Like, the only way through this is through this. You know what I'm saying? You can't skip around, okay? So, first, block number one. There's only 5 blocks I'm going to cover today. Block number 1. I can't find the time and I'm not consistent. I suffer with this sometimes. Like, we all have our times where we're like, taking a break, not super consistent, you know, we're just in the mix of life, right? Fine, fair. But we want to minimize these times. And a way to do that is to, I'm not going to say, well, to possibly change your perspective. Like, think about the perspective that you have around this work. Like, when you think of meditation, you think of Qigong, and you think of whatever it is your practice is, does it sound like work to you? Does it sound like work to you? Does it sound like something else that you have to cram into your schedule? If that is the case, then you have the wrong perspective of this. I'm not going to say the wrong perspective, but it's not a useful perspective in this. And honestly, it's not a perspective that's going to get you the furthest. The reason why I say that is because we have separated the world that we live in, this, I'm not going to call reality, it's actuality that we are in, that's going to work or raising this kid, our raising of our kids, all the things, all the pressure that cause stress and all this other stuff. And we have separated that from our metaphysical, meditation, spiritual practices, okay? And that is because we think those worlds are separate, but they're not. What the goal of my channel is, and the work that I do, is to bring higher self-harmony and to show people, not just tell people, but show people that your higher self and this regular self, this terrestrial self, this physical self is all the same thing, okay? It's all the same thing. And the meditation, the exercises, depending on who you're learning from, they may be framed in some kind of highfalutin way, but really these are practical sciences that are supposed to help you live life better and easier. It's supposed to help you get through the tough times. So if you're not doing it because you're having a tough time, well, you see what I'm saying? So one perspective shift to try is to see this as a gift to yourself, right, ladies? So when you go get your nails done, your toes done, whatever else, brothers, maybe when you go to the barbershop, or maybe you get a massage, or you go to the gym, and this is your moment for you. And you're relaxing, you might go, you know what I'm saying? See it as the same thing. This is an opportunity for me to let my brain, that's always effing working, always going, to just have a little time off. You know what I mean? And people are like, oh, I gotta clear my thoughts. No, you don't have to clear your thoughts. You just have to, like, not be engaged in your thoughts. And when you, let's say you're meditating, and my mind keeps racing, I'm breathing, I'm holding this position, and I'm thinking about food, I'm thinking about this, my nose is itching, all this other stuff. I'm doing, you know, like, I'm not doing it right, you know? You're putting too much pressure on yourself because you are, and this is getting into another topic. Well, I'm just gonna stop there. You're putting too much pressure on yourself. Really what you be like, okay, thank you, brain, thank you, mind, thank you, consciousness, for everything you do. Let me just watch my breath and just let you just be. And I'm just going to watch you be. And I might find something else out about you. Or same thing with my body. I'm sitting here focusing on my breath because it's an opportunity for me to massage my organs. It's an opportunity for me to send rippling waves of peace and relaxation through my stressed ass body. You know what I'm saying? This is an opportunity for me to revitalize myself because I feel worn the F down. This is my treat to myself and I like it and it feels good. Okay, so we have an animal brain, animal body, whatever else, this animal part of ourselves, our animal nature. It doesn't like things that doesn't feel good for real, for real. If it doesn't like it, it's not gonna want to do it. So you gotta trick yourself, kind of, sort of, like if it doesn't feel good to me it feels amazing. But I'm also in the pleasure realm of things. You see what I'm saying? I'm in the pleasure realm of things. So whatever. It feels good to me. And honestly, when you're focusing on your breath and you're letting your shoulders drop and your jaws drop a little bit and you just feeling into your spine, just relaxing some of this tension because you don't understand. Like, just like anything else, the more tension you put on in your body, the faster it's going to wear out. And I find myself holding myself in my bed. Like I could be laying down and I'm still kind of like holding myself. Or my shoulders are up to my ears or something like that. And I'm just like, and I don't even know why. Or like I could be just touching something or like looking at something. I was doing exercise yesterday, like with my eyes. And I was looking and I realized I was looking really, really, really intensely. And I thought to myself, is the level of intensity that you're looking at or you're putting through your eyes really required for what you're trying to do? Do you really have to force your eyes to work? Your eyes are working. Why are you forcing more pressure into them, more strain into them? But that's what we do in life in general. We want our partners to do something, so we stress them and strain them and force them into whatever it is. Our kids stress them, strain them, force them, and ourselves too. I'm forced myself to be vegan. I'm gonna force myself to do this. I'm gonna force myself to sit here and meditate for 15, 20 minutes. It don't gotta be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. If you want to be vegan because when you eat live food, it feels good. You know what I'm saying? It feels good to feel clean. So you don't have to sit on the toilet for 35 minutes. It feels good to have a smooth flow. You don't have to like force yourself into these things. So there is discipline, obviously, which is wrangling of this animal self. But in essence, when we're doing this work, I suggest that you find enjoyment in it. That's going to make it easier. Like, trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And then as you take the intensity out of it, it's going to allow your natural, energetic intelligence to take over and let things flow. Because when you're tensing, you're constricting. Okay? And then your mind is more busy than it needs to be. And we need to shut that thing down for a little while so we can intuit, integrate, translate all the stuff that's coming in through our system because we're picking up a lot. So for people who might meditate and they close their eyes, you ain't gotta be meditating. Let's say you try to meditate, you sit there and close your eyes. And your eyes are just doing this, flickering, just flickering, 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 flickering. Or your head is dropping back like this. The flicker rate of your screen. It's the flicker rate. So you're looking at the screen, the TVs, and this. And when you close your eyes are still doing that. Still moving at the same flicker rate. They slowly start to slow down. When your head starts going like this, that's stress pulling your head down. Okay? So you need an opportunity just to like reset yourself. Build your resilience. Go back and tackle the world no matter how little time it was. Okay? And the key is to enjoy it, to relax into it, and appreciate the benefit that's given to you. It's not something you got to wrestle yourself into. It might be at first, but if you take that perspective, the wrestling is going to be much lighter. All right? So, block number 2. I think I'm doing it wrong. You might be. You might be. But seriously, we over-intellectualize a lot of things. A lot of this is simply trying, right? Again, we have this indwelling intelligence. When you start attempting to walk in, be in, activate whatever divine aspect of yourself you're trying to do that. And if it's not divine, but just like another aspect of yourself, you're going to do it. The act of trying is doing it. You see what I'm saying? We have to train this system of ours. And when we over intellectualize, we miss a lot of the wisdom that's coming into our system and how to adjust it for yourself specifically. You see what I'm saying? So let's say you're sitting in a posture. All right, you're sitting in a certain posture, you're doing different mudras. If you are thinking about the specifics of every little thing, chances are you're not going to be able to feel the fact that what your body needs is a connection to these fingers instead of these fingers. You may be trying to do something specific, but is that what you really need? You see what I'm saying? Is that what you really need? And that's going to go into another one of our blocks a little bit down the road. I think block number 4. But is that what you really, really need? And the system of yours, because you're asking for guidance, you're asking for information, you're asking for directions in how to come into balance. Your body, your mind, your spirit is going to tell you how to do it. Now, you may not understand how to interpret this information, but when you sit there long enough and you are open, you have an open mind, right? The brain is like a parachute. It only works when it's open, okay? It only works when it's open. So you have to have an open mind. And though being interested in this could be an aspect of having an open mind, the way we approach the work and the practice of it and how curious we are and how free we are with the learning process, the better. It really, really matters. So there's, in science class, there is a regular class and then there's a lab class where you're just experimenting. Some of this stuff, especially over here in the West and the way that we do things, we're experimenting a lot. You don't have gurus, most of you guys. I don't even really recommend that you do. You see what I'm saying? But have somebody that you can listen to, follow a little bit, take guidance from, run things by, all this stuff. But the day and age that we're in now is all about trusting yourself, knowing your power, knowing your experience, and understanding that you have the ability to know what's right for yourself. And that's one of the main things about the spiritual work. It's not about what people teach you, it's about what you learn yourself and what you can apply yourself and what you can make work. Okay? It's not the magic, it's the magician. All right? But sometimes it's the magic. All right. So block number 3, people are scared to see what's going to happen. What is going to happen if this actually works? Right? So I don't want to open a door that I can't shut. Or what if I actually do see something? Or what if I'm trying to go into my emotions and work through trauma and it's traumatic again? All of these different things. And honestly, that's real. That's real. But if you're afraid, go anyway. You see what I'm saying? That just is what it is. You see what I'm saying? Some of this stuff is not for the faint of heart. It just isn't. Okay? But if you feel naturally that you shouldn't do something, don't do it. Trust yourself. Listen, going back to our previous one, now you see how things build on each other? Trust yourself. Trust yourself, because some things could happen. You could ask a question, something could answer you. It will answer you. And how are you going to deal with that? In what ways will it answer you? Will you get the right thing? Who knows? Right? But this is why there are protocols and practices. And it's why we take our time and build our intuition. By meditating, you can observe what's coming in and all this other stuff. I'm going to talk about another video. Anyway, block number 4, doing something that's not for you. Every practice is not for everybody. Why are you doing what you're doing? Are you doing it because somebody told you that's what you should be doing? You got to look at what naturally gravitates to you. What are you naturally interested in? You see what I'm saying? What are you naturally good at? What do people come to you for? You know, while we're on the topic of doing things that's not for you, and this is kind of controversial, I don't know if initiation is for everybody. You know? And again, the times have just changed. We are now in a place we have so much easy access to the spirits, easy access to our deeper consciousness, all that. The world has really changed in a lot of different ways. Like, our consciousness is accelerating by leaps and bounds. I don't know if that's the way to say it. Accelerating to light speed. You know, some people are very much still left in the dark ages and they're going to get even darker. But those of us who are not, oh, we're taking off, baby. We are taking the F off. The time that I started doing this work, nobody knew what the heck was going on. Now, there's people making fun of the things and stuff. It's all over social media. It's stuff going on, man. And even though A lot of people still like, oh, this stuff is demonic, blah, blah, blah. Far more of them are like, there's something to this, and I'm trying to explore it. You know? So the world has really, 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 really changed. And a lot of the things that were required before, I don't personally believe are as required. Guidance is always required. Wisdom is always required. Gatekeepers, not so much. Yeah, gatekeepers, not so much. And when I talk about gatekeepers, just a little bit. When I talk about gatekeeping, I'm saying it's not needed by humans for real, because spirit is intelligent. This is the stuff that created the universe. It knows how to keep you out. That's what ascension syndrome is. That's what a lot of hauntings are. It's a lot of playing stupid games and winning stupid prizes. But Spirit has built in stupid prizes for people who want to play stupid games. So it's not required for humans to do all of the gatekeeping that we used to do. All right? So a lot of people are, because they feel tied to the energy of Oshun, that they have to get initiated into Ifa. You don't necessarily have to. The question is, what is your relationship with it? Is your relationship to be subservient with it? Is your relationship to adjust some aspect of it in your life? Like, what's your relationship to it? Figure that out first. And if you're called to be initiated, go through the process and be sincere about it. But don't do it because they said, for me to get any information, I had to do this. And then after you've paid all this money and did all these things, you still don't know nothing. And you're more confused about yourself. Somebody might put a curse on you too. Hex. Something. You know what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of petty people in all these little situations. All these little groups. Not calling any religion little. I'm just saying, Christianity, there's tricky hating people. Islam, there's tricky hating people. Ifa, there's tricky hating people. Akan, there's tricky hating people. Apollo, all the stuff. Kemet spirituality, it is tricky, faking ass people all about and abound. So, being initiated don't stop none of the bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So if you want, it's okay to be a hedge kind of person. Term hedge, which, being by yourself, being a loner, blah, blah, blah. Because you're going to find people that can relate to you. Even if you don't meet them in person, you can find them. The internet's huge. Y'all found me. Hopefully, y'all like it and it's resonating. Right? But I'm just saying all this to say, do stuff because you genuinely felt led to it. There are synchronicities here. There are symbols and guidance. Or maybe you got a reading or something, and then situation in your life confirmed those things, and now the doorway is open for you to study this thing unabashed, right? Like, let's say you want to take a course, it's expensive, and now all of a sudden you have extra money. Take the course. And then do the course. And actually do the exercises in the course. You see what I'm saying? And then you'll see that maybe this thing is or is not for you. Because 3 things you want to look for in any practice. The results of anything that you do in the spiritual, metaphysical world, you want it to give you space, stillness, and silence. If it doesn't give you those 3 things, if it's causing more confusion, if it's making you overactive, hyperactive, and making your body just be off, and you constantly chattering, confusing, all that stuff, that's not for you. That ain't for you. That's not for you. Put it down. Throw it away. Piss on it. Burn that shit. It's not for you. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling y'all, for real. If it don't bring you them 3 things, let it go now. Relationships, all of that stuff. It ain't gonna be perfect. But if it's not giving you some of these things, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? If you can't lay your head on his chest and rest sometimes, without him working your nerve, throw it away. You know what I'm saying? Throw it away. Vice versa. It ain't for you. All right. Last one, block number 5. And this is major. Unrealistic expectations. Family. I can't say how many people or tell you how many people I've talked to, and they're like, they sat down for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 time, 3 times a week for 1 week, and didn't get some kind of outcome that they thought they were going to get. They thought the walls didn't, whatever. Same thing with plant medicine and mushrooms. You thought because you took 2 grams of mushrooms, you was going to be totally whatever else. No, that may not be the outcome you're supposed to get, first off. But second off, this stuff takes time. Why? Because, like I said before, there's built-in gatekeeping, Hanny. Built-in gatekeeping. Why? Because this stuff is dangerous. Again, it created the universe. It is the power of all the powers. Look at the shit that's running your house. It created that stuff. And that stuff is a piece of it. A tiny fraction of it. Look at all the houses powered up. A tiny piece of it. And now you just want to open yourself up and do all of this type of stuff, thinking that you are actually prepared for all of this stuff. No, you go through a process, you build your fiber, which we're going to talk about in other videos. You build your wisdom, you build your ability to navigate and adapt and harmonize and alchemize. And once you've shown yourself approved in certain areas, automatically things are going to open up for you, right? Depending on how your energy is shaped, designed, whatever else, certain things may take longer for you. Okay? Some people have a hard time visualizing, but they can hear really, really well. They have a hard time being quote unquote in trance, but they're laser sharp focus. But that laser sharp focus can also take you into trance. It's just how do you navigate or play the cards that you was dealt. You see what I'm saying? But the first thing is not having expectations. I'm doing this thing, one, because it's good for me, because I think it's going to give me some outcomes, but I'm not necessarily looking for whatever aliens to bust through the sky and do whatever people be thinking about, family. So unrealistic expectations, family, we want to keep those tempered. Instead of having any expectations, it's like, I just want to see what's going to happen. If something happens, great. If it doesn't, fine. You know, I'm not going to be any worse off than I am right now, depending on what you're doing. But we're talking about regular energetic things, regular practices. I ain't talking about like plant medicine, all that stuff. I'm talking about meditation, chanting, mantra, all of the things that we do. Just do it, guys, and have an open mind. Like I said, the parachute situation. And just see what's going to happen. Be a child. Be childlike. Have fun with it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe. If you want to hear more about things like this, like, subscribe to our channel. We're going to be putting stuff out to really, really, really tap in and dive deep in some of these processes. We're going to start off with going through the basics and just giving things to people who are starting off. You know what I mean? Because I remember where I was when I was starting off, and there wasn't anybody really telling me where the pitfalls were or where to invest my energy until a little bit down my road. But once they did, it's supercharged. So just so we invest our money, there's places to invest our energy. And the first place is your perspective and your mindset and your approach to this work. All right. So my name is Adara Moselle. If you need a session, hit me up at daramoselle.com, Instagram, Adara Moselle. We have classes coming up. Tantric Bodywork, the Shamanic Level 1. Yeah. Look forward to see you guys in the next one. Peace.